team. But either way, go ahead, drop your questions in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. Give me something to let me know that you guys are here with me. Um, Spoiler alert, I think I am developing COVID. Unfortunately, my son came home with something. So they're back in school. So super, super fun. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on a live stream, but nevertheless, let me go ahead and there we go. I want to share my screen. I want to make sure that I am looking at all the right things. Okay. So welcome, welcome everyone. I want to level with you. Okay. I really, really want to do because I think it's uber, uber important. Like I said, I'm going to be looking on the side just to make sure that, okay, I got the thumbs up from the team. All right. So welcome, welcome everyone to our talk for today. So let's get real for a second. One of the biggest myths that is out there is that you need 25%, 30%, or even more as a down payment to start investing in real estate. I hear it all the time. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, how am I supposed to come up with that kind of cash? Well, today I am here to bust that myth wide open and dive into a topic that is a hot a hot button issue for many of you, and that is funding. Getting your funding in order isn't just important, it is the absolute key to unlocking opportunities. It's that first key that you're going to add to your keychain that can change your financial future. And it's more about getting the attention of the realtors to start sending you leads, being able to negotiate like a pro, and starting to really play this real estate game all in. Okay. So hello everyone. Welcome back to another luxury short-term rental. Actually, let's rephrase it because we have rebranded, just in case you hadn't noticed, because we are leveraging short and midterm rentals. So hello, dear friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Luxury Rental Doctor Show. My name is Dr. Rachel Gainsborough. I am your go-to healthcare professional turned real estate investor. We operate out of Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. You might have seen one of our luxury midterm rentals featured on Netflix, but what really lights me up is sharing this amazing and valuable information with our community, especially hardworking women of medicine that are out there juggling multiple night shifts, moonlighting in all the places, fighting it out on these W-2, 1099 and real estate streets, thinking to themselves, you know what, there's got to be a better way. Okay, and there is. But just a disclaimer before we dive in, we're going to be discussing some financial and tax related strategies. So this is for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination. So please consult with a qualified professional before making any investment or financial decisions. Okay. All right. So today we're talking about funding. Why is funding important? The reason that we are talking about funding is it's really important to understand the type of money you need to get started with real estate investing. A lot of people, they go in, they want to invest, they don't move forward because they have no idea, and it could be a little bit daunting. And I want you to know that the type of funding that you choose can make a difference in how much profit you make at the end of every month after all of your expenses are paid. Okay. So that's what cash flow is. Cash flow is what's left over after all of your bills are paid. And this is the absolute key to make sure that your investment pays off. There are a lot of different funding options as well. So getting it right, getting the right kind of loan or mortgage, also known as funding, will help you to keep more of that money in your pocket at the end of the day. All right, so let's dive into some of the strategies that could really help you to do that. All right, so I want to take a moment and let you know if you have any questions, any concerns, any ideas of your own that you're leveraging, go ahead and drop it into the chat. We're here to answer all questions and to help you out. So if you're curious about anything that we have mentioned related to funding, or if you're using your own specialized funding hack or funding strategies, and it's one that we haven't shared or one that we have shared, go ahead and let us know. Give us a comment. Let us know what it is that you're doing to build your funding stack. Now, funding stacks, they have to do with two prongs, okay? Funding stacks are the loan products that you're leveraging, for instance, your mortgage, and the down payment products that you're leveraging. It could be just money that's sitting in your savings account, but we'll talk all about that in a moment when we go into your hidden money matrix, okay? So the first portion of the funding stack we're going to talk about are the loans, your mortgages, etc. But before we dive into the nitty gritty, I want to share a little bit about how we get started in this real estate world. Okay. So my journey started back in 2018, where we got our very first short and midterm rental. And I have to say, for me, at first, it wasn't just about getting investments or accumulating all these doors for ego or anything like that. I just really needed something that was going to work. My husband was already giving me the side eye, like, is she for real right now? We already are in $500,000 in student loan debt. We're finally making some traction. Is she for real right now? Trying to get us into more debt with real estate, right? So I really wanted this particular investment to bring in some meaningful cash flow, not just any type of, extra $75 a month or $100 a month. I had to prove it to him, guys. I had to really prove it to him. And that's why we landed on short-term rentals. And we felt as though if we did it correctly, we could build a portfolio of one or two or three properties, small but mighty, that we could then leverage and create a lifestyle that was more in alignment with what we're doing, with our vision for our future, with our crazy work schedules. We weren't looking to take on a whole bunch of properties that were underperforming. So, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, back then, my husband and I, we were saddled with $500,000 in student loan debt. We were working 5 jobs between the two of us just to keep our heads above water. We had saved up $19,000 from a brand new part-time remote hospital IT consulting job. So it was everything we have had. And we bought our very first property with that $19,000. And it was a 4-bedroom home in our neighborhood for $290,000. We'd found this local lender that was willing to give us a 5% down loan for this investment property. So do not let that escape you for a moment, okay? So some local lenders that are family offices are able to do some of these creative and funky deals as well, which is absolutely amazing. We then took the rest of the money, we went on Facebook Marketplace, and we furnished the property. But let me tell you, $19,000, I was nervous. I was asking myself, you know what? What if this doesn't pay off? What if Jesse was right all along, right? Who knows if this is going to work? What if we just threw away all of our savings? However, we put the property together, we set it up, and we finally got it listed. The night we went live, I remember going to bed, anxiety is on 10, thinking to myself, all of the what ifs came flooding in. But then at 3 o'clock in the morning, we got that first booking while we were asleep. And let me tell you something. That was an absolute game changer. Suddenly I realized, oh my gosh, there's a way to make money without punching a clock. We made $6,500 that very first month. Our mortgage was around $1,300 to $1,400. The property did so well that we decided, you know what, let's do another one. Why not? And so this second property was larger. I thought to myself, you know what, maybe, just maybe, it would generate $8,000. Okay. I was stretching it. I was thinking, okay, maybe it'll generate $8,000. Dare I think $9,000 a month. I kid you not. But we use a pricing tool. So we have a few tools in our tool chest. And one of our pricing tools is a dynamic pricing tool that sets the nightly rate for our properties. On its own, it uses AI. And so once we use that tool, that's part of our remote hosting tool stack, it automatically adjusted the price based on the vacancies in the market as well as the demand. So it set the 30-day night minimum stay, which is what I wanted to leverage because we're in the process of transitioning our cleaning team. So it set that 30-day minimum night stay at a rate of $28,000 a month. Let me let that breathe for a second. 28,000 a month. I couldn't believe it. I was about to dial it back down, thinking, okay, this is an absolute mistake. There's no way. But before I could, the property got booked. The property got booked. And then it continued to average $22,000 a month. And that completely shifted my perspective. Talk about a paradigm shift. Okay. It was huge for me, moving me really from a mindset of scarcity to abundance. I already thought I had an abundant mindset, but you know how there are some things in life that just bust your myths wide open. And that's what we're here to do tonight. So that night, I remember when we got that booking, I had to think to myself, where else am I playing small in life? Where else am I playing small in life? And the story doesn't end there. We even got featured on a Netflix TV show because of that property. So it's been an incredible journey. And it all started with a leap of faith. It all started with stopping the analysis paralysis. It started with taking action. It started with doing the thing, taking one step, doing one thing, right? And I'm just so grateful. And that's why I'm passionate about it. I feel like this is the most approachable way to getting started. Okay. So I know I spoke high level, but I want to dive deep into these strategies today. Okay. So again, super passionate about sharing all of this with you. Welcome to those of you who are listening. I'm just so grateful that you're here with us tonight. Okay, so for those of you in the community who are also, you're on the same page, you're like, okay, Rachel, I am picking up what you are putting down, and you are ready to create a lifestyle that supports really your dreams, your vision, your current reality. This is the talk for you. Okay, this is the session for you. This is the episode, so to speak, for you. All right, so why do I like residential real estate investing? So just last week, I was speaking to a group of women in a mastermind, so women's mastermind, and that was the question that came up. They were asking me, Rachel, why do you like residential real estate investing? Why don't you focus on other things such as hotels, commercial real estate, like buying apartments through syndication? Why don't you focus on all the other things out there? Why are you focused primarily on short and midterm rentals? Well, that was such a great question. And I didn't realize I had so much to share in my heart. And I went on a little bit of a soapbox, but I want to share it with you today because I know a lot of you are faced with opportunities to invest in other asset classes, which is fine and dandy. But I just want to, I'm just going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you like you're my fellow sister, and I'm just going to let you know what's up because I am in networks with centimillionaires, and we have a couple billionaires in our network, and I am seeing the writing on the wall. And my goal is to, I took the elevator to the top. Now I'm bringing it back down to bring as many of you with me as possible. Okay. All right. First thing is first, let's define what is commercial real estate so that we're all on the same page. So when I say commercial real estate, I'm talking about properties like office buildings, hotels, retail spaces, storage facilities, warehouses, apartment complexes. So basically anything that has a business purpose use where there are multiple units that are rented out. Now, why do I like single family homes particularly? I truly believe this is where the smart money, especially in today's market, is made. Okay. First and foremost, the funding stack. Single family homes are accessible. You and I can purchase it. We can get in, right? And we're looking at a 30-year fixed mortgage potential, meaning that the interest rates stays the same for the entirety of the loan. This is big. This is a big deal because it helps you to plan ahead without worrying about sudden jumps in your monthly payment. A lot of things are changing, right? We're seeing a lot of jumps and in our monthly expenses, but knowing that your mortgage monthly payments, the actual mortgage is going to stay the same is it's just super reassuring, right? And on the other hand, commercial real estate often has those shorter loan payments, those shorter loan terms, and those loan terms have to be refinanced every few years, and the interest rates have the risk of going up. And so right now, as we speak, we're in 2024. A lot of commercial real estate investors are getting squeezed. They are forced to sell their properties at a loss because they just cannot hang with the rise in interest rates. And it is time for them to refinance, and things aren't looking so good. According to a recent report, I think it's called Credit IQ. Um, yes, Credit IQ. As the interest rates continue to surge, we're seeing that commercial real estate investors, those with those floating rates, their mortgages are facing a 280% spike. Let me check that for you. 280% spike in interest payments. So it makes it nearly impossible to refinance under those terms. And so this is leading to a lot of them defaulting and forced property sales. So let me just kind of break this down to you for a moment. Come back to me if you're multitasking. So imagine that you are a commercial property owner and you have a variable or floating interest rate mortgage that originally your monthly payments were 10,000 a month, which okay, that's a lot, but you're making 15,000 a month in income. So you're thinking, okay, we're doing fine and we have an extra 5,000. Your mortgage is 10,000, you're getting 15,000 a month in income. Your renters are all paying and you're saying, "Yep, we're fine." But now it's refinance season and the interest rate has risen 280%. So that means your mortgage that was 10,000 now just jumped to 28,000 a month. And suddenly we came from, yep, we're doing fine at 15,000 a month of revenue that's coming in, the rent rolls coming in, to a monthly mortgage payment of 28,000 a month. And I got to tell you, that's devastating. Now you owe more on a monthly basis than what is coming in. That puts you in beyond a tight position. You're essentially upside down. And so this is where some folks are having to sell the property as a law at a loss. Okay. Now, this drastic increase in costs is exactly what is happening to many of our commercial real estate investors today. So much so that I've got three doctors, clients that came to me recently, each sharing stories about their investments in commercial real estate syndications. Now, I'm not going to name any names at all because I don't think anything was done from a malicious perspective. However, what they're being asked to do is put more money into the deal just to keep the deal afloat. One's being asked to put an extra 30% of their original investment, and they had put in 208,000 into that deal. Another client shared with me the other day that they have a distribution check that they just received for 34 cents, and this is after waiting for this a commercial project to be updated and renovated. They were expecting closer to $45 a month in monthly payouts. This just really shows the risk that a lot of people are facing with commercial real estate right now. And it highlights the importance of just kind of holding off on these huge commercial deals. And especially at a time where we have 30-year fixed rate mortgages on residential real estate. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I'm ready for it. Come for me. Come for me all you want, but I said what I said. Okay. So that is the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about, and let me take a quick peek at my notes. Boom. Okay, so the second thing we want to talk about is the cash flow. I'm a huge advocate for what I call the two-door strategy with one short-term rental, one mid-term rental, or a hybrid with these single-family homes because it gives you the power to control and optimize your income. You can pivot between short and mid-term rentals based on the demand. You can adjust your pricing. You can add amenities. You maximize your revenue. But for me, control is the key. You are not at the mercy of a third party property manager. No offense, property managers, but you're not at their mercy. you can see what's working and you determine, you know what, let me tweak a few things. And whatever you tweak has the ability potentially to make a positive impact on your bottom line. Okay. So one of our members, Neho, who's a software engineer and product manager, she shared how excited she was to purchase her own property, to put in the work and control it herself. She was just tired. She had invested in a syndication because, of course, you're thinking to yourself, someone else is going to take care of it. But she was tired of just waiting around for a paycheck from a company, which was the investment group that she was in. She really wanted something to be her own, where she could apply her smarts, her skills, and the knowledge that she is getting on these trainings that I pop on and share. So with her own property, she was able to maximize her rental income. She hosts in South Carolina, where she welcomes graduate students into her home, and it's just been absolutely amazing. And so it really, for her, it solidified her future. The cash flow she's seeing, compared to what she was getting from the syndication investment group, just pales in comparison. Okay, so there's nothing wrong. I'm not going to say that, but there is a place for passive investing in the syndication for sure, 100%. But I want you to really evaluate, what is your life thesis before you go all in on something like that. I think later on down the line, once you've built your wealth, that might be the right place to put all of your eggs, potentially, allegedly. But if you are looking to get your first or second, or really start to maximize your income, I do not recommend it. Okay. Because again, control. So when you control the property, you get to control the profits. On the flip side, with commercial real estate, you're often at the whim of a third party, property manager, for instance. You're at the whim of the overall market. You're at the whim of fluctuating interest rates, like we mentioned a little bit earlier. Okay. And if something goes wrong, you know what? It puts you in a really, really dicey situation. And you're waiting, and you're hoping that the communication is up to par with these syndication companies. All right. So let's talk about the third advantage. Hang on. Let me take a quick peek at my notes. I actually made notes for you guys, which I'm super, super excited about. Okay, one second. There we go. Okay, so another reason that I absolutely love single family homes is you have an opportunity for amazing down payments. Okay, so for some of our members, they are leveraging down payments of 5%, like we are. A lot of them are leveraging down payments of 10%. Some are leveraging down payments of 15%, but 10% down, I would say, is pretty much the standard. However, with commercial real estate investing, the down payments are going to be much, much higher. For instance, you have 25% down, you have 30% down. So when it comes to purchasing commercial real estate, say for instance, the property is a $1 million property. And if you have a 30% down situation, you know what? We're looking at $300,000 up front, right? So $300,000 up front is not an approachable number at all. So highly, highly recommend, again, single family homes. It is your most approachable opportunity, and that is why I am all in on it. Okay. All right. So I do want to take a pause real quick. Do not hesitate. Again, guys, do not hesitate to jump in with any questions, with any thoughts. This is your time. This is your time. I want to make sure that you all are feeling served while you're here with us. Okay. All right. So let me dive into, hang on. I've got a few more notes I want to share with you. Okay. All right. So let's dive into something that's really, really important. Why is now? Why is now the absolute best time to invest? Why is it the absolute best time to invest right now? Okay, hang on. It's saying that I am offline. Okay. Is my connection restored? Let me know, Rye. It says that I'm offline. Okay, not yet. Okay, it's trying to reconnect. Okay, it says I'm back. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. It looks like I kind of feel a little bit choppy. I'm gonna leave the chat, Ryan. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, it's still lagging quite a bit. Let me know when the lagging has ended. I don't like it. No me gusta. I wonder why it's lagging so much. Okay, let's see. Check your internet connection. The weather's acting a little wonky, so I wonder if that has to do with it. I wonder. Hang on. Let me know, right? Has the lagging ended? Darn it. What should we do, you think? Should we pause, or I wonder if the audio's okay. Okay, it says the current frame is too low. The current frame is too low. Please set the frame to 15 to 60 FPS. Okay, let's see. It says set the frame to 15 to 60 FPS. Let me try that. How would I do that? Let me have a look. I wonder if that's in my settings, video. Where would I find that in Ecamm? 15 to 60 FPS. I'm in video. What I'm seeing is default camera, default transition. It's not in there. So I'm going general, account, stream. Okay, stream frame rate is at 30. So it's set to 30 FPS. Use high quality video mode is what it's set to. I wonder if there's something in Restream that I would need to change. I don't want to add more to it. I feel like if I go into the screen share, it's going to be a little bit problematic. Am I choppy on all platforms? I think it said to change the 30 to 15. So it says change to 15 to 30. So you said change from 30 to 15. Okay. Let's see, frame rate. But you know what? It's grayed out for stream, so required speed. Oh. I'm going to put a few destinations. Okay. Required speed for, I had it on one destination. I'm going to put it for 5 destinations because I've got like 5 destinations potentially. Is this any better? Ooh, or am I completely choppy? I feel like I'm choppy. What do you think? The audio is okay? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so I think we're going to continue. Guys, thank you for your patience. Okay, it's not too bad, I'm being told. Okay, hopefully we can still use quite a bit of this on the YouTube, but if not, we'll re-record. All right, so let's get back into it. And hang on, let's see if we could. Yeah, a lot of things are just not working. A lot of things are frozen. All right, it is all good. I'm still getting the low. Check your internet connection. All right. I think I'm going to have to kind of get over it. Okay. It's all good. All right. So let's get into why I believe now is the absolute best time to invest in real estate. Alrighty, dear friends, sister docs, let's hash it out. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that now is the best time to dive in because of three primary reasons and a couple of secondary reasons. So first and foremost, let's talk about the tax benefits and the tax incentives. They are huge. So in 2024, you can take advantage of a 60% bonus depreciation on your real estate investment. So, what does that mean? So, what it means is that you can deduct 60% of the property's value from your taxable income. That gives you a huge tax saving right outside of the gate. Okay. So, for example, one of our community members who's a trauma surgeon with an income of around 600,000, so really nice income, they purchased a property last year when bonus depreciation was 80%. They actually purchased three, but let's just talk about the one, and they leveraged this tax benefit and were able to deduct over $400,000 from their taxable income, and they nearly eliminated their tax liability for that year. So that gave them a substantial savings and a very hefty IRS tax refund check. They took that refund check and they reinvested it. And that is how, my friends, you make your money work harder than you are. So hands down, the tax savings for the strategy is absolutely amazing, especially when you purchase the right cash flowing property. Number two, interest rates. Now, let's talk a little bit about interest rates. This is something that could make or break your investment returns. We are seeing that as of August of 2024, they're talking about a 25 basis point reduction, so like a dip in interest rate by 0.25%. So we are in an election year. So because of that, we often see there are a lot of efforts to make sure that the economy feels and stays stable. And so while we cannot predict exactly what's going to happen, but that dip is a signal that we're going to see some favorable things in our borrowing environment. So really important. Next up, we're looking at the rising in inventory levels. So we're starting to see an increase in the rising in the inventory level in a certain number of key markets. Okay, so it really means that we are going to have more properties to choose from. This gives you an opportunity to have the upper hand when it comes to negotiations. So when there's more supply than demand, sellers are more willing to make a deal. So we're entering into that. So it's going to be really a great time to jump in. And then a couple of more reasons, I shared the three main reasons, but a couple more reasons that I think it's important to consider investing right now in 2024 is that we're also seeing some price corrections that occurred in some markets that previously had a lot of overvalued properties, markets like Orlando, markets like Nashville, St. Petersburg. These markets had become a bit too expensive for most buyers, but now they're becoming a little bit more affordable. So this means that you can potentially go in and buy a property at a discount compared to just a year ago. The other thing that we're seeing, which is so interesting, I love looking at the market trends for these huge institutional giants. Keep an eye on investors like Blackstone. They are selling off properties at a loss. Okay, let me say that for those sitting in the back. They're selling off properties at a loss. Okay, so we have a tool that we can pull up and see who owns the property, when they purchased it, and so on and so forth. And we saw that there's a property that they had purchased for $368,000 2 years ago. Now they are selling it for $257,000. Okay, that's almost $111,000 loss in just 1 year. So that's huge. And that's not an isolated incident. We're seeing dozens and dozens of properties where this is occurring. So this could be really a ripple effect that leads to more properties coming onto the market at a reduced price. I'm crossing my fingers that we are reading it correctly. So if you're that person that's kind of ready to buy, this is your golden opportunity. It's now you want to start running your market analysis to make this happen, because the stars are truly aligning in the favor of real estate investors right now. Okay. And again, just in review, those are between all the reasons why I said now is the time to invest. You have the tax savings, you have the interest rates that are starting to creep down, you have the rising inventory, you have the declining prices, and the institutional investors offering properties that are at a lower rate than when they purchase. So this is the time to move. Okay, so if you're on the fence, now is the time, the perfect time to dive in and get that first door, and then the second door to really start building your portfolio. Okay. So again, guys, do not hesitate to jump in with any questions, with your concerns, with your thoughts. This is your time. This is your time. I want to make sure we cover everything that matters the most for you for our talk tonight. So with that, without further ado, let's dive into phase one of the funding stack. Phase one of the funding stack is the actual loan strategy. What is the mortgage? What is the main need? Okay, so right now, again, we've covered why now is the perfect time to jump in. Let's talk about the funding strategy, your funding stack, part one, and then we're going to dive into part two. Okay, so part one, something is going on, my friends. Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but something weird's going on with my lighting. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know. All is well. Okay, so part one is the funding strategy. Okay, so your funding strategy is your make it or break it. Once you have decided on which market you want to invest in, which is absolutely important, the next big step you need to figure out is how you're going to finance your investment. This is where the rubber really meets the road. We're talking about getting the right kind of funding in place so that you can actually make that purchase and start seeing those returns. When you have your funding in place, you have your pre-approval letter, you get the attention of those real estate agents, and those real estate agents start to send you leads, send you properties, and so it reduces that effort that you are putting. It reduces you fighting for your life looking for properties all the time. Okay, so definitely bear that in mind. I want to start by exploring three of the most common funding loans that we encounter inside of our community, and then we'll dive into a few more that are a bit more not known or unconventional choices that might potentially meet your needs. Okay, so let's dive into the three most common loans. Number one, in our short-term, midterm rental community, the number one most common loan that we are seeing are second home loans. The second most common loan are your debt service coverage ratio loans. Those are your DSCR loans. And the third most common loan are your bank statement loans. Okay, so bank statement loans, which is a business type of loan as well. All right, so let's talk about it. So the first loan is the second home loan. Those are your vacation home loans. This is an absolutely great starting point because it's sort of the conventional route. We call it our vacation home loans. It leverages Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, so it's backed by the government. I personally love them because you can often get away with a 10% down. But remember, what works for me, it may not work for you. I already gave you my disclaimer, how I'm not a financial advisor, right? But leveraging a 10% down is huge. Okay. Really, a lot of our members love to leverage this, but if you're a little bit, I would say on the more senior side of things, you may want to go with a higher percentage down loan because that in effect is going to bring your monthly mortgage payment down as well. Okay. So, with the Fannie Mae loans or the FHA loans, you are allowed up to 10 of those. But once you start to get around, I would say the fourth and fifth one, your debt to income ratio, aka your DTI, starts getting impacted. So, I want you to also take into consideration if you're purchasing a very expensive property, there are jumbo loans as well if the properties exceed a certain price point. So you want to know your limit. So if you're in the jumbo realm, it's going to be more than that 10% down. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind. All right. So next up is my second favorite loan, which is called the DSER loan. That's the debt service coverage ratio loan. Now, these loans are designed really with businesses in mind. Okay, so they're a little bit different from your typical loan. The DSCR loan also requires a little bit more of a down payment, like anywhere from 15 to 25% down. But here's the key: they are based on the revenue that is coming into the property, the revenue that the property generates. So it's not based on your personal income typically, which is amazing. So this means that this might be an amazing choice for you if you're looking to purchase more property, you're not looking to impact your DTI. This is the one that you can leverage. And another bonus of this is that you can purchase the property in a business name in an LLC, and it can keep your credit score unaffected as well. Allegedly, talk to your lender, talk to all the people. So that's why we like it. That's what we have seen for working with particular lenders. And so really, really cool, really dope, really, really important. Okay. So the next loan that we want to talk about are your bank statement loans. Now, bank statement loans are another funding opportunity or funding method that I've seen that is starting to gain a good amount of traction. And so the important part about bank statement loans is that it works really well for those who say they own a business and they they don't have to leverage per se their IRS tax returns. It is totally a game changer. So if you're in a situation where you have a 1099, you own your private practice, you own a business, and you have a lot of losses, right? You're reporting a lot of losses on paper, but they're seeing that you're making a lot of money, meaning that you got a lot of funds coming in, then the bank statement loan might be something that you want to explore. Okay. So not all lenders are created equal. Not all lenders have access to all of these products. So it's really, really important to know what's available to you. And so that's why we go out, we look to work with these lenders that have some of these cool loan products that are out there. There are several loan products that are constantly changing. And so keeping your finger on the pulse of what lenders are currently doing is also very important. Okay. All right. So the next option I want to talk about is kind of a fourth funding strategy, but it's more of a tool. So once you've maxed out of your 10 conventional loans at 10% down, you're probably wondering, okay, what is my next option? Do I just need to go up to DSCR? Well, not necessarily. I like to intersperse my DSCR, but the game changer is you can wrap all 10 loans into a single loan called a portfolio loan. So this fourth one is a portfolio loan. It gives you a clean slate. It allows you to leverage yet another 9 or 10 loans at 10% down. And this is super savvy, an amazing way to keep growing your portfolio one property at a time. Okay, so super dope. Wanted to share those 3 strategies plus that bonus forth. But I want to share a few of the little known strategies that our members and me are using right now to build wealth in real estate. So I want to share a few more. Okay, so one of my absolute favorite strategies is house hacking. I know, we're talking about funding, but let's talk about house hacking for a moment because it's important. So house hacking is when you buy a primary home that has an accessory dwelling unit like a casita or granny flat, and you rent out that extra unit to help cover your mortgage and your expenses. My husband and I, we house hacked for years, and it was an absolute game changer. So this strategy really allowed us to live for less or even for free while we still were paying off debt and building equity in the property. Now, this led us to one of the main loans for our members are leveraging inside of our community, and that is the physician home loan. These loans are perfect for buying a primary residence, perfect for first-time home buyers. It offers a low or even no down payment option, zero down, which is the best part. And then no private mortgage insurance, no PMI. So, what a lot of our doctors are doing is they're purchasing a property with a physician home loan. They live in it for a year to meet that primary residence requirement or whatever, the terms state. And during that time, they make some strategic, renovations. We call it our little live and flip action. And after that first year, if the term allows, they can then convert the property to a rental. And it doesn't stop there. They may have a spouse who can then leverage another property, again, using one of those low interest or no down payments as well. So this way, they're systematically growing their wealth with real estate. But still, we're going to play by the rules, guys. Okay, so all of these loans have their specialized rules. You may think that this is legal, this is not legal. Each loan is different, so definitely assess that. Okay, so this is our little strategy inside of our community. Other loan products that are out there are VA loans that may have competitive rates. So some of you are coming out of the military, right? You can leverage a VA loan for a first home or a primary home loan. Again, I want you to be aware of what the terms are before you can flip it and then convert it into a rental. Again, this is a powerful way, amazing and powerful way to get started in real estate, but you want to make sure that you're following the guidelines and you're avoiding any issues down the road. A few of our members, the spouses of the physicians, have leveraged USDA loans. And of course, this is another low to no down payment. And these properties and these loans that I'm referencing are for primary residents oftentimes. So definitely keep that in mind. This falls into the house hacking pillar of our strategy where you bring your monthly expenses all the way down with the house hacking pillar because a lot of these offer a government subsidized no down payment that's required or zero down payment. It's perfect for those who have like a moderate income borrowers. Okay. All right. Of course, there are a lot of other strategies out there that are worth mentioning. I want to mention a few like hard money lending, there's seller financing, there's private money loans, there's just a variety out there. Now, these methods, and there are more out there, are not as commonly used, but they can be powerful in the right situation. So it's really important to note that these options are not always the easiest to acquire or the easiest to navigate or the lowest risk. As a matter of fact, some of them are the hardest and the highest risk. But I do want to mention them because they are out there and they might be effective in the right hands, in the right circumstances, but you got to do your diligence before you are diving in. Okay. So these funding strategies, again, are just some examples of how you can fund your real estate, whether conventionally or creatively, if you are just starting out. Okay, so part two is the down payment. So we've talked about your funding strategy, and now that you've got a sense of your overall funding options, let's just laser focus and zero in on one of the most crucial parts of your investing journey. So now let's talk about planning your down payments. So I want to walk you through the process that's helped our community members secure $7 million in real estate over the last 6 month. And it all starts with something we call the hidden money matrix. Now, this tool is a total game changer when it comes to really uncovering money that you didn't even know that you had, maybe, right? And so here's how it works. Let's talk about the hidden money matrix. You want to start off by listing all of your available funds. So grab a sheet of paper, grab your workbook. When we post the blog, I hope to link the matrix for you. And I want you to jot down the names of all of your accounts, say your checkings, your savings, your retirement, investments, you name it. Next, I want you to identify, well, how much do you have in each account, and jot that down. And finally, I want you to identify whether or not you're able to access those funds in the next 60 days or so. Okay. And you can mark it as yes or no. So here's a quick breakdown, and then we're going to drill in a little bit. So make a list of all your checkings accounts, all your savings accounts. Say you have a HELOC, you have a retirement fund, your investments or pledged assets, any gifts or loans from family, equity in a personal or a rental property. Those are funds there too. If you have 1031 exchange funds from a sale of a property, if you have some bonus checks that's coming down the pike. Now, to drill down a little bit more, let's look at the strategies. So some of the top ways that our members are leveraging coming up with their down payment, they use their savings. So your savings account, you want to open up all of your accounts and see what's in there. Some of our members are using funds from an old 401k that they're converting to what's called a self-directed IRA. Some of our members know that they have a bonus check that's allocated quarterly that they could use to boost their down payment fund. Whatever it is, just start listing it. Some of our members are leveraging home equity line of credits or home equity loans. Some of our members have family support. Some come from money, right? Not mine. Okay, I will say that for sure. So they may provide them a gift or a loan, which could be a big help depending on what type of lender. Some lenders frown upon that. Some of our members have cashed out on their assets, stock position. Some have equity, again, in existing property that they can tap into. Some are rolling over funds from a property sale that is just not delivering returns. And some of them, the members inside of our community are actually doing deals together, and they're collaborating with one another to share that down payment load. So again, once you have jotted down all of the numbers in your hidden money matrix, you will have a clear view of what you've got to work with. Okay. So this is tried and true. This is the method that we use inside of our mastermind to identify what we have available to start to build that path to securing our deal. Now, once we have our hidden money matrix, we start to explore the different options that we could leverage in terms of how much we're going to use for our down payment. And this really starts to solidify and make our investing into a reality. So take some time, explore the hidden money matrix, take some time and also explore the funding stack and the lenders that we have mentioned. And honestly, guys, I really hope this was helpful. I truly believe that your path starts with a first step. You want to get your funding down and your down payment plan down. This is absolutely crucial for you to getting started, okay? All right, guys, so we've covered a lot today, from building your funding stack, which includes your loan product as well as your down payment. So there you have it, guys. We've covered a lot. We have multiple ways to build that out. I want you to remember that everything is figure outable. And if one lender says no, keep knocking on doors until you find one. This journey isn't easy, but it is worth it. We have seen members in our community close on $7 million worth of real estate in the last 6 months. So I know it is possible. Stay encouraged, stay focused, and most importantly, stay connected. We are all in this together. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking those steps towards financial freedom. Oh, you know what? I was just told, 1 second. By the way, I would love to invite you all to a free training tomorrow, where I'm going to walk you through the entire process of finding the right property, just like we talked about earlier. So, this is your chance to get an insider access to some of those tips so that you can find that market and then find that lender to make that real estate dream really a reality for you. Okay. So, here's what you need to do. Go ahead and comment the word join in the comment below. Or if you're listening online, you can go to shorttermgems.com/MTR. That's M as in Mary, T as in Tom, R as in Rachel. I'm offering a training session for free. It's usually $47, but it is for free tomorrow, where you're going to learn how to launch a profitable short and midterm rental. It's it's a training no one else is teaching, guys. So in this masterclass, I'm going to show you how owning just 2 properties can reliably generate you more revenue than your full-time job. Helps you to save on taxes and gives you that freedom that you so desire. And once you join me on that training, I'm going to show you really the step-by-step on how to really identify those properties that are going to attract high paying clientele. So we have a secret sauce in our community. We're going to share a proven method for leveraging midterm rental and short-term rental properties so that your bookings never run dry, and so much more. We have an exclusive template that we're going to be sharing with you as well that I use in my own business. So feel free to sign up, shorttermgems.com/MTR, or comment the word join below. Secure your spot. This again is available for a limited time. I don't want you to miss out. I'll be there live answering all your questions. I cannot wait to see you there and help you take it to the next step towards financial freedom. All right, let's make it happen together. Bye bye for now.